All right, let's talk about the best peripherals for gaming in Counter-Strike 2. Now, to give you context about me, I'm going to give you guys the best advice that I have, and I have played in over 20 LANs across the country, 2 international events. I am a Counter-Strike player at heart. I've played with so many different Counter-Strike players, asked so many different players what they use, the peripherals that are best. I've seen it firsthand. I've been sponsored by multiple companies. I'm going to tell you the good, the bad, and I'm going to give you a completely unbiased and 100% honest opinion on what you should be using if you really want the best chance at improving and ranking up in Counter-Strike 2. Because at the end of the day, guys, peripherals, they're not everything, but so many of you are just on the wrong track with what you're using. You're using the wrong mouse, you're using the wrong keyboard, and it truly is setting you back whether you even know it or not. So regardless of what happens by the end of this video, you will understand what you should be using. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's talk about mice. Now guys, for me, I am currently using the Logitech G Pro 2. Now, this is essentially the golden standard for mice on the market when it comes to Counter-Strike 2. Most of your pros, the majority of them, are going to be using this mouse. Now, is this the only thing that you can be using? Absolutely not. A lot of players use the Viper V3, they use a Zowie mouse, these different brands. And I'd say if you want to play it safe, the brands that I would recommend are Logitech, Razer, Zowie, and some of your other mouse companies like Glorious and things like that. Those are genuinely like the best companies right now for mice. I'd say if you want to play it safe, go ahead and get the G Pro 2, right? Very great mouse, right? It's the golden standard, like I said earlier. It's what literally like 70-80% of the players that at LANs that I play at are using, and any other mouse is just going to be in the minority when it comes to that. Now, with the mouse, as far as price, it is going to be pretty pricey, right? It's not going to be cheap to use, but I believe that your mouse is one of your most important things that you can be using. And if you are not using the proper mouse, then you're setting yourself back, right? The beautiful thing about the G Pro 2 is that you can put it up to 8,000 polling rate. You can play on different DPIs. You have a very good sensor. You have high quality mouse, and it makes it really easy to perform. And you don't have to think about, oh bro, my mouse was letting me down. And bonus is it's like symmetrical, right? So it doesn't matter if you're left-handed or right-handed, doesn't matter what way you're flicking, it's all gonna feel the same. So mouse, by far the most important thing. Don't cheap out on that. If there's anything in this video that you're gonna buy, get a nice mouse from Logitech, Razer, or Zowie. Trust me, you can't go wrong. Thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Skins Monkey. They are one of the greatest and easiest to use CS2 trading sites out there. You can swap out the skins you do not like for brand new ones that are so much more fresh. Even skins that are trade locked can be secured by adding them to your backpack. The greatest thing about the site is that you can buy skins for so much cheaper with a 35% deposit bonus when you use my code, KOJO. Make sure to check out the freebie section where you can get a free skin just by completing tasks. On top of the bonuses, you also get a $5 bonus when clicking the link in the description. Now, let's go ahead and talk about mousepad. So for me, I have this crusty mousepad I'm using right now. You can see it's very crusty, very used. I use the Zowie QCK Plus Heavy. I believe that's what it is, right? Now, the mousepad is more up for discussion, more up for opinion. Pretty much for these things, most players are just using completely different stuff, right? By far the most popular one I'd say is the Zowie mousepads, the Heavy, just the regular QCK or whatever it is. Like these type of mousepads, definitely the most popular. But a lot of players nowadays are switching to artisan mousepads, right? And these are going to be imported from, companies over in Japan, China, Taiwan, over in, Asia, a lot of the mousepads, and they are very high quality. Now, for those of you that are rookies out there, beginners, go with a cloth mousepad, right? There is some benefit to having a hard pad or a glass pad, but for bang for your buck, get yourself just a standard Zowie mousepad. Don't get yourself a little office mousepad. It's very important that you have space, but you don't need too much space, right? There's nothing wrong with a giant desk pad, but if you want to learn from my experience, I had a desk pad when I was getting into the scene as I was climbing the ladder in Counter-Strike, getting better and better. And the problem is, if you're trying to go to LAN and you're trying to actually compete in this game and make something out of it, a desk pad just won't work, guys. You need something, that's good size but not too much, right? And you want something that's easy to travel with. So get yourself just a Zowie mouse pad. Get yourself honestly, don't even worry about the company for that, right? Get yourself just something that is very solid. I've had mouse pads from every company out there: Razer, Zowie, freaking like whatever, like all these little tiny companies that produce pads, but just make sure that it is actually a proper gaming mouse pad and you can't go wrong. Just stick on the same one and don't switch it too often, or you are going to get in your own head about it, right? Mouse pad, probably the least important thing on this list. Just make sure you have a quality one, whatever it is, just a decent quality mouse pad. Now, let me unplug my keyboard here. One of the things that is going to again be up for total discussion is your keyboard. So as you can see, I have a very concise Ducky keyboard. This thing is very old. It's like 3 or 4 years old at this point. Should I probably upgrade it? Yes. Why have I not? Because I love it. It's so comfortable for me to use. I love the keys. I love everything about it. I love how easy it is to transport when I'm flying and going to all these different places. Philadelphia, Atlanta, Toronto, Riyadh, freaking Yash, Romania, right? It's so easy to transport this and I love it. But at the end of the day, guys, the biggest thing that you need to understand when it comes to a keyboard is make sure that it is a gaming keyboard, right? Make sure it is an actual freaking keyboard that you can game with, and not like one of those like little membrane like keyboards where the keys aren't raised up, right? Get yourself a mechanical keyboard that you can use. I don't even care what switches you're using, right? At the end of the day, as long as it, you know, the keys are raised up, they actually have good switches on it and we can, you know, click around, blah, 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 right? You're gonna win. The only way you can go wrong with the keyboard is if you are literally just buying like an office keyboard or like a $5, $10 keyboard. If you don't want to go wrong, I personally don't like them, but more power to you if you like them. You cannot go wrong if you get a Razer keyboard, a Logitech keyboard, and either of those, any keyboard from those two companies, you're not going to go wrong. If you want to spend a little bit more for quality and a good product, Ducky keyboards, they're a little old school, a little old fashioned nowadays. You can't go wrong with Ducky. And then what most people are using nowadays is a Wooting keyboard. A Wooting keyboard is like, all my friends, they want one, they have one, whatever, you know what I mean? Like Wooting for some reason nowadays, it seems to be taking over. So I've heard nothing but good things about them. I haven't personally used them, but again, from all the players I've talked to, all the things I've seen at LAN and everything, it is a very popular rising keyboard because of the quality that they are producing. The most important thing is your mouse. Spend as much money as you need to get a high quality mouse, because that is literally the most important thing. The next thing is your keyboard, because your keyboard has to be a good quality gaming keyboard, and like mine, it'll last you 4+ years if you take care of it, guys. Take care of your stuff. Don't slam them, don't rage, don't do all these things, and you are going to be set. Now when it comes to a headset, guys, this is something I am going to give you my own opinion on. There's no right headset out there, okay? And Counter-Strike 2 sound is very hard to hear, to decipher, but for me, what has worked is HyperX. From when I was a beginner, even till now, I'm using HyperX. Now, I've experimented with SteelSeries headsets, Logitech headsets, and the reason I'm on wired right now is because when you go to LAN, there's so much frequency, there's so much stuff that I actually need a wired headset, and I just want to play with what I'm going to be playing at LAN, right? I'm traveling all around, have all these busy plans, so I need a good headset. Now, the bonus is that the microphone for these ones is actually so good for LAN, right? It's not picking up other noise. If you set the stuff right, it's very high quality. And, you know, at home, I'm using an actual professional mic. But for actual headset mic and for price, you cannot beat the Clouds. The price is so cheap compared to all the other high-end stuff, and I think that it actually competes, if not is better than most of it. So get yourself a HyperX headset, stay away from the Xbox gaming headsets, get yourself either a HyperX, a SteelSeries, or a Logitech headset. Or, you know, I don't like them as much, but a Razer headset is also acceptable too. Again, any of these companies, for most of your products, you cannot go wrong. What people go wrong with is they start buying these Xbox headsets or these TikTok headsets and all this stuff, and it's like, dude, sure, you're spending $5 on a headset, but you're setting yourself back so much, right? So stop with all that stuff, get yourself something proper, and you cannot go wrong. Now, guys, let's talk about monitors. When it comes to your monitor, it is so important. You need to listen. The gold standard in monitors is a BenQ monitor. I don't care which one you get from them, preferably 144 Hertz and up. If you're a beginner, get a 144 Hertz. If you are a more experienced advanced player, you have to get 240 and up, right? A lot of this is going to depend on your PC performance, and I'm not a PC guy, so that's why I'm not going to include it in this video. You guys can look up tutorials and guides out there. There's lots of intelligent people. I can tell you so much more from personal experience about peripherals than they can, but they're going to give you the advice with PCs. Your monitor has to be a BenQ. I've experimented with all the different companies, all the different stuff, and nothing compares inside of Counter-Strike to a BenQ monitor. Not sponsored one bit. I wish I was sponsored by BenQ. But I even have two of them right here, a 240 on my left side and a 360 hertz right here. So novice, beginner player that doesn't know anything about Counter-Strike, 144 hertz and up. If you're serious about the game and actually need that performance and want to get better and succeed, 240 hertz and up. That's the standard. No player in the professional circuit is using below a 240 hertz. Trust me, like you just can't nowadays. So as far as monitors go, cannot recommend that enough. You can mess around with Alienware. You can mess around with freaking Asus or whatever other companies out there, and sure, you might get a decent product, but BenQ is the 99% of pros are using it for a reason, like genuinely. If you're gonna take anything out of this video, it's the Logitech G Pro, very, very good mouse, and the BenQ monitors, extremely high quality. And guys, when it comes to a chair, these are actually fading out of fashion nowadays, but a gaming chair is nice, like, what I mean? It's very good. As you can see here, I have my Secret Labs chair. It's very good. I love it. I won this in an event that I played in, have used it since. But genuinely, you could use whatever you need. If you're just starting out, you might be using a wooden chair. I'd recommend getting a nice office chair. This is the one time where I say like office chairs actually are really good and high quality. And gaming chairs are actually going out of fashion because a lot of people are like, dude, it's so uncomfortable, I hate it. I love mine. Secret Lab chair, I love mine. So unbelievably expensive. I don't recommend at all. If you're in a budget and you're trying to figure out what you should be spending your money on, the chair is by far, like, in my opinion, this is gonna be a hot take, but the chair should be your least of your concerns. I get it. Your health is important, right? Your spine health and everything is important. But a lot of that comes from posture. If you're just using a wooden chair from your kitchen, like, dude, more power to you. That's how I started out. It wasn't the most comfortable, but I love playing the game. I would much rather you have a nice mouse and a nice keyboard or a nice monitor than worrying if you have the Secret Labs chair. So can't go wrong with that. Just get yourself something comfy, get yourself something that works. And as far as desks go, guys, just make sure you got space. I can't even, like, everyone uses such a different desk that it doesn't even matter. Just make sure you have space on there for your mouse pad, your monitors, and your set, right? And in a perfect world, I get that, like, we don't all have that luxury of doing that, but you can't go wrong. So I just wanted to close this video off. If you guys want to help me out so much, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment down below what your setup is right now, and I look forward to seeing all of your comments. If you agreed with me, if you disagreed, this is the data that I've collected, and so far it's helped me out. So yeah, guys, appreciate every single one of you. You all have a great rest of your day. Peace out.